Niggas beneath me don't got no business even in my conversation
at all.
I'm a champion. Where you at?
The only champion in the DMV at 130.
I'm the only champion in
Tank might be squaring off against Lamont Roach this coming March, but the drama is already on fire. Just hours ago, Bill Haney went all out against Tank, and now Edgar Berlanga has thrown his hat in the ring, wanting a shot at Tank too. And that's just scratching the surface. Things got even more intense when Tank and Lamont Roach clashed in a heated confrontation. Let's catch you up on all the action.
Rematch clause, people, so get ready for 2 fights. But, yes, and after I beat him the second time, I probably would ask the WBA to let me go up to 140 and fight.
The hard-hitting star from Baltimore, Tank, is gearing up for his return to the ring this March. He'll be defending his title against Lamont Roach, the current WBA super featherweight champion, who's stepping up in weight for this showdown. The fight was originally planned for December, but got pushed back 3 months. Despite the delay, Roach hasn't held back, telling TMZ Sports that he's aiming to finish Tank in style with a stoppage.
He and Baltimore don't fuck with each other.
Yeah, they don't. One thing about it, the city gonna show up.
I expect this to be the fight of the year. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm a bully in the ring. When my noise ease, I'm in my zone, I'm unstoppable. I plan to shock everyone when I win, and yes, I'm aiming for a knockout. Who doesn't want to win that way? Whether it's in round 1, 8, 10, or 12, I'm training to take him out no matter what. I'll be ready for anything.
Everybody seen the 2 fight, both our fights is on YouTube. So everybody know that it never got bad for me with nobody in the fucking ring, regardless. And if you want to go into the vault, my father got tapes of us spawns.
Here's where the tension really spikes. Lamont Roach Jr. isn't just aiming to win, he's made it clear he wants to dominate Tank. Meanwhile, Gervonta Davis has noticed Roach's bold words and fired back on social media. I advise you not to talk too much. It could backfire. You know that already, Tank tweeted. And his follow-up was even chillier. Say nothing, that's it, 2 words. Silence speaks louder than all the noise.
But everybody be talking shit to Gervonta, it don't be coming out good for them, my nigga. I'm just keeping it real.
He obviously.
Their history only fuels the fire. Back in their amateur days, both fighters dominated, clashing at the Junior Olympics and National Championships. The record? Davis defeated Roach in both bouts. But controversy surrounded those fights. Points were deducted on both sides, and Roach still questions the outcomes. I don't think he should have won, Roach admitted, though he respects the scoring system. Their rivalry was once about being number 1 in the nation. Now it's about being number 1 in the world. The fight announcement sparked backlash, with fans accusing Davis of cherry-picking Roach, who isn't even a full lightweight. But Roach is flipping the script. He knows the doubts, the talk about him being undersized or unprepared, and he's embracing it. I'm different. He's world-class, just like I am. That MF can fight. I know what I'm capable of. I'm one of them. So why not show the world? For Roach, it's not just about proving he belongs. It's about stealing the spotlight from an undefeated champion.
Whether he's a champion or not, you're getting a guy lighter than you to come up and wait to make you look good again.
Davis, on the other hand, seems unbothered. While Roach steps into the underdog role with swagger, Davis exudes confidence. His undefeated record of 30 wins, including 28 knockouts, speaks volumes. That's why people rarely bet against him. Yet, Tank isn't taking this fight lightly. He doesn't do easy fights, even if critics label this one as such. He knows Roach has grown since their amateur days and understands what's on the line.
Tank fighting Mr. Roach, Lamont Roach.
I mean, I think the online reaction is a little bit unfair. Like, everybody hates the fight, but Lamont Roach is a good fighter. Like, it's not like, but the problem is no one knows who he is. And I think with, Tank's position in the sport, people want him to be in the big fights, and it's not a big fight. But Lamont Roach is a good fighter. Like, and if you know your boxing, you know it's a good fight, but he is a super featherweight.
Roach has been hyping this fight as a war. I'm going to shock a lot of people, he promised. And it's not just talk. He truly believes he has what it takes to make Tank uncomfortable. Speed, precision, and a bit of chaos. That's the formula Roach is banking on. But there's no ignoring the obvious. Tank's raw power. Even Roach acknowledges it. He wasn't a devastating knockout puncher when we were kids. Now, he's a monster.
And Baltimore guys don't like each other. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So
yeah.
It was a DC guy that I got into it with.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So one of the older guys named Dana.
Tank's knockout power has become his signature, ending fights before they even begin. But despite all the hype, there's one person who sees this as an easy day for Tank, Bill Haney. Never shy about his opinions, Haney stirred the pot further in an interview with Vlad TV. He dismissed Davis as a fighter who avoids real challenges, calling the matchup with Roach a soft touch. Tank isn't looking for tough fights. He's looking for easy paydays, Haney declared. His tone was dripping with sarcasm as he mocked Tank's choice of opponents. When's he going to fight? Someone real? Haney's comments were bold, almost daring Davis to respond.
We already ready to go to 40, bro.
Inside the weight classes, when we move, just like niggas is moving now, brother, if it's too hot at 30, we already ready to go.
The Haney-Davis feud isn't new. It's been a long-running clash of words, insults, and even near physical confrontations since late 2023. It heated up when Devin Haney openly called Davis out, sparking a rivalry that hasn't cooled down. Davis fired back by mocking Haney after his loss to Ryan Garcia, and a leaked video of their sparring session at Floyd Mayweather's gym only added fuel to the fire. Things nearly boiled over in June during a tense encounter outside a Las Vegas club, where their camps almost came to blows. Now, Bill Haney has stepped in, taking direct shots at Davis for avoiding tougher opponents.
Oh! Competition breeds greatness, and Gervonta Tank Davis proves he is not great.
The Cash App is...
For Bill, Lamont Roach isn't the name he wants associated with Tank. While Roach holds the WBA super featherweight title, Haney Sr. questions his credibility. "I haven't even heard much about this fight, have you?" he said, pretending to forget that it's scheduled for March vs. 2025. The fight, originally planned for December, hasn't changed Bill's low opinion of it. He dismissed Roach as just another easy opponent for Tank. "I'm saying knock it off, Calvin, man. Get off Twitter and knock it off. If you're the face of boxing, send over something real, man. Something respectable," he said. Bill's real frustration lies in what he sees as a pattern. To him, Davis has been cherry-picking opponents and dodging the fighters fans actually want to see, like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Vasyl Lomachenko. "When is Tank going to fight someone who can really test him?" Bill pressed. For him, it's not just about Tank staying undefeated. It's about the quality of those wins. The topic of Shakur Stevenson came up during the interview, and Bill didn't hold back. That fight will not happen, not with Tank. He doesn't want that. Smoke, he said. For Haney, Stevenson represents the kind of fighter Davis avoids, skilled, tactical, and capable of exposing flaws. Bill admitted that a Davis-Stevenson fight would be a great matchup, but doesn't believe it'll ever happen. "I'd give it 50-50, he said, praising Stevenson's abilities while throwing a subtle jab at Tank's reluctance to take the risk.
Yeah, cause my son, hey listen, cause my son will knock that nigga out. Cause my son will knock Tank the fuck out. That's why you don't want no words.
Bill Haney wasn't shy about dismissing the buzz around Tank's victory over Frank Martin. While many saw it as a dominant performance, Bill was far from impressed. "Oh my God, when is he going to fight someone?" he scoffed, doubling down on his claim that Tank's record is padded with opponents who don't belong in the ring with him. The tension between the Haney and Davis camps runs deep, both personal and professional. Bill Haney isn't just a spectator, he's Devin's biggest supporter, strategist, and promoter. His criticisms of Tank go beyond boxing. They're about protecting his son's legacy. Devin Haney, the undisputed lightweight champion during Guy. This feud has long sought a fight with Tank, but despite the challenges thrown at him, the matchup has never materialized. To Bill, this isn't a coincidence. Tank is avoiding real fighters for a reason, he claimed. That reason? Fear. Fear of losing. Fear of being exposed. fear of stepping into the ring with fighters like Devin or Shakur Stevenson, who won't crumble under pressure.
I don't feel like no bully, man. You know what I'm saying? So to all the Tank Davis fans and all that, you know what I'm saying? Doing a great job. Listen, man, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? What do we do? Because it's feeling like a bully because they saying everything. It's seeming like he's scared, Zab. You know this business. You know when the millions is on.
For Gervonta Davis, however, the story is different. His team argues that scheduling conflicts and injuries have limited his options, leaving fighters like Roach as the best available opponents. And while Tank hasn't openly responded to Bill Haney's accusations, his actions speak louder than words. He continues to sell out arenas, rack up knockouts, and solidify his place as one of boxing's biggest stars. Whether his opponents meet Bill Haney's standards is another question. Bill isn't convinced. To him, Tank's star power is built on carefully selected fights and calculated risk avoidance. He's not fighting the best, Bill concluded. He's fighting the easiest. It's a sharp critique, but one that echoes the frustration of many fans tired of waiting for boxing's blockbuster matchups. As Davis gears up for his March showdown with Lamont Roach, all eyes remain on his choices inside and outside the ring. For Bill Haney, the war of words is far from over. However, as much as Bill believes Tank is avoiding Shakur Stevenson, Shakur himself seems to disagree. Stevenson has expressed confidence that a fight with Tank is inevitable. Critics may have their doubts about Tank Davis's current list of opponents, but a potential showdown with Shakur could finally silence them.
Bill Haney, in an interview with Radio Raheem, stated that the reason Tank Davis did not accept the vacant elevated belt was for him to avoid all his mandatories and not give the opportunity for another boxer to become great if he believed he is great, Dad.
This isn't just speculation. Shakur Stevenson has revealed that discussions between his team and Davis's camp have already started. While the deal isn't finalized yet, Stevenson remains optimistic. "I already know that at the end of the day that fight is going to happen," Stevenson told IFL TV. "Fans just got to wait until whatever Tank says. The fight is going to happen." Shakur respects the business side of boxing but believes the clash with Davis is inevitable and it's shaping up to be a blockbuster. "Do everything. Yeah, boxing. Me and Tank, the F the one," Stevenson said. "It's the biggest fight in the world. Yeah, it's going to be the biggest boxing fight in the world when it happens." Both fighters are undefeated. Stevenson stands at 22-0 with 10 knockouts, while Davis boasts an intimidating 30-0 record, including a staggering 28 knockouts. Love him or hate him, Stevenson has proven himself as one of boxing's most technical and precise fighters. On the other hand, Davis, at 30, is the division's knockout king, famous for his explosive finishes. A matchup between them would be a clash of styles, Stevenson's precision and IQ versus Davis's power and aggression. For now, Davis has his March fight with Lamont Roach to focus on, but if those plans shift or Tank seeks a bigger challenge, in 2025, Stevenson is ready. He's made it clear he's up for the fight, even hinting at his confidence. "I can't give up my recipe, I can't give up my game plan. People just got to tune in and watch," Stevenson said with a grin, as if he already knows the outcome. But Stevenson isn't just waiting for Tank. Talks are heating up for a potential fight with William Zepeda. Zepeda's promoter, Oscar D. La Hoya, has been hyping him as the one to finally crack Stevenson's undefeated record.
Do you think that's gonna be your hardest fight?
Hell no.
Nah?
Wow.
Cause he a good boxer, nigga. That's when I look at y'all two as the best in the division.
How? Show me something that he did spectacular. Show me something that he did outrageous. Show me.
Right.
His power not outrageous.
Okay.
What defense?
You don't think he got defense?
Stevenson, however, isn't fazed by the noise. "I mean, De La Hoya is just saying what he's supposed to say," Stevenson quipped, but he's been very hesitant. To him, the narrative doesn't add up. He questions why. As the champion, he's the one chasing his mandatory challenger. "Why am I the champion? And I got to ask the mandatory challenger, let's fight. If you're the mandatory, you should be the one screaming for me." Still, Stevenson remains focused. "I got to make sure that I'm on top of my game," he admitted. "There's a lot of great fighters in the division. Even though I think the division was overrated because they weren't fighting each other, now that they're fighting, there's a lot of great fighters. The idea of Stevenson versus Davis has fans buzzing. It's the kind of fight that could define the lightweight division and deliver boxing one of its biggest nights in years. Stevenson acknowledges that Tank calls the shots on scheduling. Just gotta sit there and wait until he says, "Let's fight," Stevenson said, stressing patience. But when that day comes, Shakur isn't planning to be just another name on Davis's resume. Meanwhile, an unexpected twist has emerged. Edgar Berlanga has thrown his name into the mix with a wild proposition. He suggested a 150-pound catchweight fight with Tank in 2025. The idea has left fans scratching their heads and critics shaking theirs. Berlanga, known more for his early knockout streak than recent performances, seems to be chasing headlines rather than legitimate challenges.
50, but I still, I would give Tank a 10% edge on him, man. 60-40.
Listen, I'm gonna step out of this conversation.
Because of the power?
Yeah, because of the power, you know what I'm saying? I want to see how he deal with it. I want to see.
At 27, Edgar Berlanga claims he's ready to take extreme measures to make a potential bout with Tank Davis happen. Drawing inspiration from rapper 50 Cent's drastic fasting diet, Berlanga outlined his plan to shed nearly 40 pounds to reach a 150 lb catchweight. "I'll go on a fasted diet like 50 Cent did, and we'll make the fight happen at 150 lbs, Berlanga said. His strategy involves cutting weight quickly and then rehydrating to a massive size, likely back to 170 lbs or more by fight night. The idea of the 6'1" Berlanga towering over the 5'5". Davis is almost comical, but Berlanga seems to believe it's realistic. For context, Berlanga typically fights at 168 lbs and reportedly rehydrated close to 190 lbs for his recent match against Canelo Alvarez. That fight, held at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, was supposed to be Berlanga's big moment. Instead, it turned into a disaster. Berlanga lost decisively, fought cautiously, and drew heavy criticism for a performance that seemed more about survival than winning. Dropped in the third round, he never fully recovered, and fans panned him for playing it safe in a fight with such high stakes and a massive payday. The loss to Canelo, while lucrative, may have further tarnished Berlanga's already fragile popularity. Outside of small fan bases in New York City, his star power in the US remains limited. Berlanga's earlier reputation as a knockout artist faded as he struggled against fringe contenders and aging veterans. Wins over names like Padraig McCrory, Romer Alexis Angulo, and Steve Rolls earned him the Canelo fight, but didn't convince fans he was a serious contender at super middleweight. So why is Berlanga targeting Tank Davis? It's no secret that Davis is one of the biggest draws in boxing. A fight with Tank guarantees headlines, a packed arena, and a hefty paycheck. But the notion of Davis, who spent most of his career at lightweight and super lightweight, agreeing to fight a much bigger opponent at a 150 lb catchweight feels far-fetched. Davis has built his career on calculated risks, balancing high-profile bouts with manageable challenges. Facing Berlanga, who would likely rehydrate to over 170 lbs, doesn't align with that strategy. Size aside, Berlanga's lack of mainstream appeal makes the matchup an even harder sell. Unlike Ryan Garcia, whose massive social media following and mainstream clout brought energy to his fight with Davis, Berlanga doesn't carry the same weight. Additionally, Berlanga's recent performances haven't helped his case. Once celebrated for his 16-fight first-round knockout streak, his power was later exposed as less fearsome, and his overall skill set came into question. His loss to Canelo and struggles against lower-tier opponents further dimmed his once bright spotlight. Berlanga's call-out of Tank is part of a growing pattern. Following the Canelo loss, he's publicly challenged big names like Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois, Jaime Munguia, and Jermall Charlo. The ambitious list hints at a fighter desperate to stay relevant rather than one consistently earning his opportunities in the ring. For Tank, the Berlanga proposal likely won't even register. Davis is riding high after a dominant win over Frank Martin and is gearing up for a March showdown with Lamont Roach. Beyond that, potential super fights with Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney are far more enticing and lucrative. A fight with Berlanga, who brings little in terms of prestige or fan interest, would feel like a step backward for the Baltimore knockout artist. As for Berlanga, his career sits at a crossroads. After the Canelo loss, he needs to rebuild his credibility and prove he's more than just hype. But for now, that seems like a long road ahead. And as for Davis, there's still uncertainty about whether his fight with Lamont Roach will happen as planned. But what do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates. See you in the next one.